This is your second year with Attack Kawasaki. Previously with Michael Jordan's team, but certainly you remember coming up in the ranks before you actually had full sponsorship.
Yeah, it does. And every time I come here, it kind of reminds me of that. I don't know if it's good or bad, but yeah, this is where I started racing. And so every time I come here, it kind of reminds me of back when I used to show up here. I think I parked actually right around here somewhere.
Slept in your car, ate in your car?
Yeah, with my pickup and my old, 10-year-old bike, and leaned it up against the garbage can, because I had no stand for it. And so, yeah, I kind of think of that a lot sometimes.
How did you get your experience? I mean, it's a lot of skill that you have to gain on your own. You don't get really coaching in this particular sport.
It's really weird, yeah, because there's no like coaches. There's no one kind of keeping track of what you do. You just have to be self-motivated and really want to do it yourself. And I used to, before I raced, I actually rode on the street, which I don't think is a good idea, but that's kind of how I got to learn, the motorcycle and how to ride and kind of the techniques and things. And then after I realized that it wasn't very smart to do on the street, then I started coming to the track, and that's how I ended up here, was that I knew I could ride in a controlled environment, safer, no cars, no police, things like that.
When you were practicing on the streets, did you get a lot of tickets?
I've had a few tickets in my day,
Just
yeah. A few, yeah.
You don't get those on the track.
That's the thing. You can go as fast as you want, and there's no consequence for it. I mean, that's what made me come to the track, was I could go as fast as I want, and I didn't have to worry about it. And that's how it kind of got started.
The AMA has changed dramatically, even over the past 5 years. It's really given riders now, I would think, a more affordable lifestyle where you can really just focus on your racing. Do you know what you would attribute that to?
You know what I think it is, really? I think it's been the television coverage, because I think about 10 years ago is when Speed really started following the motorcycle AMA Superbike Series on a full-time basis, whereas before it was just kind of like maybe you could see it on tape or whatever it was, And so from then until now, it's been pretty much 10 years of constant coverage year after year after year, to where people would kind of actually get a following from it, is I think the biggest part of it.
Now for you not only fulfill your need for speed on the track, but also I hear in the air.
Yeah.
Just got your pilot's license?
Yeah, fresh off the schooling and everything. And
what's that like compared to being on the track?
Well, it's fun, and it's totally different. But it's funny. I was joking with the guy. I said my plane's actually slower than my motorcycles, so I need to get a faster plane, because I'm so used to going fast that in an airplane it seems like I'm barely moving. But you got to work your way up like anything. It's like you can't just jump in the fastest plane and take off. So. It's been fun, though. I've been liking it a lot. And
one more question. Are there any tips that you would have for any other young, aspiring riders who are growing up here in the Bay Area that want to be like you?
Yeah, save lots of money. Work really hard. Yeah, it's an expensive sport, but, basically, and it's not just for racing, it's anything. It's like if you want something bad enough, and you'll realize it, and it's like you won't be able not to do it. If you stay dedicated long enough and you work hard enough, eventually you'll realize if you're good enough to do it for a full time. And what's your ultimate goal in racing? To win. To win. Of course. Oh, no. Well, I mean, it is real. I mean, I haven't won a championship yet in the years that I've been racing. And it's like the one thing that's kind of like always eluded me. I've won Daytona 200 now. I've won a lot of races. I've been on the podium a lot, but I've never actually won the championship. I finished second a lot of times. I finished third a lot of times. So that's really my goal right now, is just to try to win a championship. If you can get halfway through the season and be in the position, that's when you start kind of thinking about, like, what do I need to do to stay in the points lead and things like that.